But they're under a curfew as of, well, we will be in about 20 minutes. And it's better. I've been living here for, shoot, I came here when I was 25 and 52. I living here for a long time. And never once have I seen this city under curfew. But it is so today. We are under curfew. Hey, Lady G, I was reading some of your comments on my other live. I'm sorry my battery died on me. Um, and I didn't have a car battery or car, you know, charger. But thank you for your kind words. I know I look crazy, but it's just, I'm not going anywhere. Nobody's going anywhere because we're under a curfew. And um, also, when my battery goes low, the screen goes low, so I couldn't read the comments. But yeah, we're under a curfew, and they're serious, and it is a sort of martial law, and this seems just kind of weird to me. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I just try to be honest and say whatever's going on. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm not really like this. Isn't showbiz or nothing. I'm just telling people, what's going on, and I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope Atlanta is a lot safer. But lady, I just think it's gonna get worse. They put us under martial law today, pretty much. They put the whole city under curfew. Denver is about to go under curfew at 8 o'clock. I'm sure other places are about to go under curfew. The military has been deployed. The weekend warriors have been deployed. We already knew that earlier today. I haven't seen any here. The biggest problem the police have is there's not enough police to arrest all the people on the street. If you just took, I mean, you could take a very, very small fraction of, you keep it real seriously, real down to earth. Absolutely. I try to. You can take a very small fraction of people just living in the city that I live, and they can overwhelm the police easily. Easily. It's not even a matter of question. And the police know this. Even if they start tear gassing you and they start pepper spraying and all the stuff that they use for you to disperse, other than bullets, um, their biggest problem is uh, people are aware of how to riot. There is a science to rioting. You know what I mean? You bring your milk, you bring your water, you bring your facial equipment, and you bring your goggles. We've already seen people show up in this gear, and they're very, very serious. They're prepared for the long haul, and they're very serious about what they want. They're very serious about confronting the police. They're not really trying to harm the cops. So the police really aren't worried about that. They're not worried about getting mobbed, but I'm sure it's on their mind. But I don't think they're worried about that because the people who are protesting, who what they really want to damage is property. They want a high toll in property damage. They're not looking for human damage. They're looking for property damage. Sup, yo? You know what? That Arby's wasn't bad, bro. I ain't had none in a while. Now we can't even get any Arby's. I can't even go back today because we're under curfew until 6 a.m. And I don't think it's going to stop there. You know, they did that because people went downtown last night and tried to destroy downtown. And they hit the banks. You seen all those banks? What's burning down, bro? Um, well, right now there's nothing burning down, but there's been police and ambulance all day. You know, as far as for where I live 5 miles from downtown, like literally. I live 5 miles from there, and there's been ambulance going by here all day. Look, I think we're being set up. I think we're being set up for martial law, and I think the damage is done. There's what in Columbus? In Columbus? Hold on. Really? Okay. No, it doesn't seem like it. Police are enforcing city. They're enforcing a citywide curfew. National Guard activated, moving into Columbus curfew. Governor orders National Guard to Columbus to quell protest. Ohio Dem rep other officials pepper spray during. Wow, you had officials that were pepper spray. Columbus police declared downtown in emergency zone or whatever that is. Two officers injured, five are arrested. So that's going to keep going on right there. The officer injury and five arrested, those arrests are going to go through the roof. But the police really don't. The police have a lot of firepower, but they don't have a lot of riot power. You see what I mean? If people start shooting at them, then a lot of lives will get lost. But when you're just talking about just a lot of rioters, and they're not out to kill you, then the police are in trouble. What up, man? The police are in trouble, Tone. That's why they're bringing in the military. But see, you got to understand. Okay, in Denver right now, they're protesting and they're not rioting. But it seems like a riot. When I say that they're not rioting, is they're not destroying anything. They're right outside the Capitol. This is in Denver. They're right outside the Capitol. They're vandalizing it, but they're not, putting holes through it and stuff like that. What they're doing is they're confronting the police. So I just look at it different. Yeah, I just look at it, different. Let me read some of your comments, see if I can keep up. Um, okay. So I haven't seen that anything was burning yet. I'm gonna click on one of these lives. Well, these videos are already made, so I was looking for a live feed. Uh, so I didn't see any live feed of something burning, but we will hear about it. Probably not till the next day. You got an emergency text alert. This is weird time scene plan. That's what I'm saying. I think we're being set up. I do. I'm gonna read some more of these, and then I'll get to that. Downtown Columbus, Ohio. I Okay, protest. Let me see if I can find a live feed. That's nationally. Columbus police enforce citywide curfew. Stories. National Guard activated moving in Columbus. Okay, let me see if I can get to this live feed. National Guard. Let me see if this is a live feed though, because some of this might not be live. So hold on a second. What are you watching? Like, what did you click on that? How you saw this? All right, so this isn't live right here. National Guard called into Columbus. This is already on YouTube. Curfew is not intended to stifle peaceful protests, but to protect people. No, you're trying to stifle the protest. So Mike DeWine is going to speak, but I don't want to listen to a goddamn old thing he has to say. To me, Mike DeWine has always been a crook. Live updates, city imposed curfew guard, mobilize, brace for another night of. Well, you're going to get a big night of unrest. Columbus, Ohio police officer, police enforce. Okay, so these videos are already made. I don't see a live feed, so I'm going to go to Facebook and see if I can find a live feed. You guys, bear with the brother. Let's see what I can come up with. I even got an alert like on YouTube, but I was playing my video game during the time. But I got an alert on YouTube, on my computer. I thought that was interesting. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Okay, let me see if I can find a live feed. Live stream. Let's see if I can. All right. So, okay, here is a live stream. I went to Facebook and see if I can get some volume here. You guys.
Here is standing by. That curfew is just minutes
Oh,
away.
this is Miami-Dade
Goes
County.
into effect starting at 10 p.m. Raphael, what can you tell us about
So
where
that's
we
Miami-Dade
are?
County.
Yeah, right where we're at, we actually just saw police kind of step away from that little section they were in right in front of the police department. I'm going to step out of the way so you can actually see. Looks like they started slowly coming back, but they had gone back out into the street. We did hear some loud pop.
I'm holding the phone with one hand, typing with the other, because I don't have a shirt on, so I don't want to be, ostentatious? Protests continue downtown. 42 minutes. These are not live feeds. So I don't have a live feed. I don't know what's going on. These videos are already taken, but I'll try to find out later. Huge smoke. Yeah, you got an emergency tech. Downtown Columbus, yeah. Fraternal Order of Police needs addressed. They're the ones with billions of dollars to protect their own no matter what. Well, we want a strong word with them. We want a strong word. Tone, that's why they're bringing it military, not yet. Atlanta is on a curfew. I think the whole United States, well, I think the whole America is going to go under curfew. Atlanta, testing cats that don't back down. Oh, arresting cats. Yeah. From my window. From your window? Winston, where are you at? Where are you at, Winston? Because I'm trying to find what you're looking for. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to find out what you're looking for. I've already searched Live Columbus, Ohio, either being censored or people are being smart and not looking to get in trouble. I'm betting Facebook and Snapchat are getting it. Yeah, somebody has it. Somebody's downtown. Downtown is not empty. They're there. There's video 40 minutes of video. They're there at night right here. Let me see if this is live. No, it's not live.
Corner of 3rd and Broad Street, where you can see Columbus Police.
Thank you. No, please don't.
This isn't live, but it looks pretty current. Like maybe an hour or so. It is at night. It's not at dusk. Let me say this. It's not dusk. It looks like at night and the sun just went down. So it is WTOL News 11. And yeah, she's going to give a report, Channel 10. I don't know who's conservative and I don't know who's left and who's right here in the city. Um, I don't watch the news. I don't have a TV. Columbus has something burning in the city. Also, what's up with the Mansfield protests? I don't know. I don't even go to Mansfield. I don't know anything. There are mostly poor white people that live in Mansfield. I've already searched for hear stuff popping off in Mansfield, but can't confirm anything because there is no coverage downtown Mansfield, Ohio. Uh, have you seen the video of undercover cop? Look, yeah, yeah, we saw that undercover cop and the guy in a pink shirt. Yeah, they're doing it. They set a bunch of bricks out in front of one of the Capitol buildings in one of the cities. So there are people who are inside. I think we're being set up. I think we're being set up, and I think we just fell right into it. I even heard one police officer call the guy who died an actor. I was like, why would you call him an actor? Where did that come from? He called him an actor. Now, I believe Floyd's dead. But it just kind of, makes your ear go up when you're like, wait, what? Yeah, yeah, we saw him. We saw him twice, actually. And we saw both those two together. So I just think I think the worst is about to come down the line now. I've been making videos about the pandemic since the pandemic, and I've been making my own. They're not predictions, pretty much hypothesis. You know, um, what I think is gonna happen. I did not expect this to happen though, but what this did was, I mean, just think about it. America was about to open back up, right? You're about to open back up in what? Next month, June, which is a day from now. Is that next month is, I mean, tomorrow and then Monday is June, right? So America's about to open back up. But now, and I mean, we were under a soft lockdown. But now, as of tonight, as of right now, I'm under a hard lockdown. I mean, when you start thinking about that, like, wait a minute. There was a soft lockdown. Then you start opening stuff up that were non-essential, and then within not even 2 weeks at a time, you start opening up non-essentials. We are now in a hard lockdown, and the military is walking our streets. We went from one extreme to the other, to the other. I just think about that, people. Do you think next month, which is in what, a day and a half, do you think that? Because right now we're on lockdown, so to me it's like martial law. You can't go outside. You go outside, you get arrested. That is a hard lockdown. So do you think that by, I don't know what date it was, but it's sometime like June 15th or whatever, you think we're going to be at a hard lockdown for all the month of June? Because I do now. I think that they're going to govern when and where we can go. I think it just started. I think it just kicked off. I think martial law just happened. So let's get an understanding what martial law is, right? And who controls martial law. Let me just drink this in, because I'm a little old, so I don't think as fast as you guys. But okay, Martial law is when the military takes over, the streets and govern your day to day. This is when a visible presence of the military is governing your day, and there is a curfew set. Isn't that what just happened? Isn't that what's pretty much going on? Except the whole military isn't out on the street. I don't think the whole military can be out on the street. I don't think they can. They can't take us all. They don't have, yeah, right. Oh, I don't think the Constitution has. General length. Yeah, with your rights being yanked. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, though. We have people who are out there who are starting the riots on purpose, who pretty much don't care about Floyd. Then we got people who care about Floyd. Those people going black and Black Lives Matter. We got people who are stopping other people on the freeway. We've seen that before when Gray was killed in Maryland. People went out and stopped people on the freeway. Black people, black crowds did this. Stopped people on the freeway. They had a bullhorn and they were telling people, they're killing us, yada, yada, yada. That was a peaceful protest. Today we have people doing the same thing, except they're white people and they're damaging people's car. So we have violent protests attacking people now, random people who they're stopping on the highway. This is what we got right now. This is different. This is different. This feels like this feels out of control. This feels purposeless to me. And the one guy jumped out his car and he confronted the two good front guys confronted him, and the white guy who was talking to two other younger white guys, and they were like, "Go ahead, do something," you know what I'm saying? And he said, "What's this all about?" And they said, "Black Lives Matter." And I'm just thinking to myself, as a black man, is this what I want to happen? And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no. I do not want random people attacked. I do not want their cars vandalized. I want justice. Now, peaceful protest is not working. So I get the fact that you're tearing down, the status quo. You're tearing down. You're going down to the state building. They had to board our state building up. Look, I'm with that. I'm not encouraging it, but I'm with going down to the state building trying to get something done, and you guys better hear us right now. I'm with that 100%. But I am not with random people, random Americans being attacked by an angry mob. That isn't representing Black Lives Matter. And I'm not a Black Lives Matter guy. I am for Black lives, of course, but like I don't belong to their organization. I don't know, what all they got going on. I only knew one person in it and they killed him. So I'm just saying, as a black man who lives in fear every day of his life, I don't want to see soccer moms in their minivans getting holes knocked in their windows, and they're like, "Why are you attacking me? I'm an American. I didn't do anything." You know what I'm saying? So I'm not for that whatsoever. Now but like I said, you know, These people are young and they're fast and they're angry, and that anger is just spilling all over the place. They're not guided missiles. They really aren't. They're just grenades. These are not SAMs. These are just, grenades. That's it. And they're blowing up all over the place on everyone. Anybody can get it right now. So, to anyone listening, don't go and get into these crowds because it just seems like they can turn on somebody real quick and it can go bad real fast. Um, like I'm not going to try to go out in this. I don't glorify this, and I'm not. When I was down there today, I wasn't afraid, but I was very aware of the potential of somebody getting seriously hurt and or killed when I seen how serious the police were. Like I said, you have to earn them to come out and SWAT. Plus, they have all kind of stuff that can hurt us that we're not even aware of. I mean, they have stuff that they have machines that they use sound, and the sound can just mess you up. They can deploy a gas that you can't see. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're dressed up like that and military wise, I mean, the stuff that we could use, the stuff that we trained for in the military, you can't see that gas. It's like radon gas. You can't see it. There's not a bunch of smoke that comes at you when you're fighting a war and you're using gas. There isn't. When they deploy gas, when one nation deployed gas against another nation, you walked into it and died. And then the survivors would go back and say, we were in this area and all these people died from this. And then they would test it and try to find out what it was that you died from. So there's all kind of ways to stop a crowd of people that you just don't want to deal with. And the average citizen is not ready for that. However, the sheer numbers of people that would come out and run over the police force would be astronomical. It would be a very bad deal for the police. The sheer number of people that would come out after they saw somebody, dead from anything, it would be very, 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 very bad for the police. It would be terrible for any politician, uh, and it would be just a listen. I don't even think the military would be able to help them. That's not a threat because I'm not doing anything. That is just the sheer scope of anger and the numbers that they're up against. They don't have the firepower. They can come out with a Gatling gun and start shooting people down like World War Z. Like I said, there's 11 million people that live in this city. This is just, I mean, that live in Ohio. Don't provoke that. Don't provoke that. There should have been some negotiating as soon as this happened. As soon as they saw that they were rioting, Mike DeWine sends out a tweet. No, what you should have done, Mike DeWine, is you should have had a hue and cry. You should have had a hue and cry downtown publicly right on Broad and High. Stop all traffic. We're gonna have a hue and cry right now. Stop all business. Anybody who's working down here, go home. We're gonna have a hue and cry right now. We're gonna talk to anybody and everybody. We're gonna set up a table right in the middle of Broad and High. That's what they should have done, with a police presence that is non-threatening. Just a regular police presence, not a whole line of them. Just police, not looking like they're ready to take people on. Because when you look a gorilla in the eye and you want to stand up, he's gonna attack you. So you look away. And you know what I'm saying? And that's what they should have done here. But see, they think they're in a position of power. And it has never been that way. The people are in the position of power. But when you keep abusing that power that you have and that we gave you, and we have no more trust in you. Now there's no trust in the police force, none whatsoever. It has been completely wiped out, and the very few people who do have trust in the police force, they're not saying much right now. Because you always got somebody who's going, oh, no, the police are great. No, they're right now. Because they don't want people to find out where they live. Nobody wants that noise. You don't want that noise. You don't want people to run up to your crib and start throwing things into your house. This is not what you want. So all those police supporters, they're quiet right now. They ain't saying nothing. There's not a lot of people on Facebook going, well, the police are on the right and all this and yada. There's not a bunch of people who are making an excuse for this, for what that cop done. You don't see a lot of that at all. There's not a lot of police support whatsoever because it's easy to find out where you live. And now you have an angry mob at your door. Nobody wants that. And please don't act like we can't find you. It's just not worth it. Those people are quiet right now. Very quiet. They saw a man get murdered 7 minutes, just die right in front of everyone. They're quiet. They have nothing to say right now. But I think we're being set up. I just think that this is going to turn into a permanent stay because the mobs have destroyed so much. They have set so many things on fire. Our financial district in the city, there's just no doubt in my mind that if they haven't cleared out all those people, that they put more holes in those buildings. You saw where all those banks were, where I was, right on High Street. Those were all the banks are. There's like 6, 7 banks right there on the same block. And Chase is the biggest one, and they already hit Chase. Key Bank is sitting right there, and there's a couple other ones that are sitting there. They hit all of them. So this is a bad deal, people. And the people with the money, they're worried right now. Uh, and I'm worried for us. I'm worried for the protesters who are there because of Black Lives Matters. I think they're getting sucked into a vortex of anger that they didn't want. I think they're being falsely represented by the looters and the people who are confronting the police in a bad way. And I think that if Mike DeWine, even though he's had his, I don't know, he said something, I just think that he should. I know you're trying to protect these businesses, but trust me, if millions of people here in the city I live in decide to come down the street and start wrecking things, there's just not much you guys can do other than put them 6 feet under, and then that's just gonna start a whole nother brouhaha that you're not ready for. You're not ready for that. You know what I'm saying? And not you're not going to get away with it. You're not going to. It's not going to be like the SWAT teams who come in your house, kill people, and then we don't know who the SWAT teams are when they don't release the names. It's just like we're not releasing none of the names. No, we're going to find out who you are, and that's just a bad deal. You know what I'm saying? There should be a different deployment of efforts for these people. And I don't exactly know how to do it. They went on the news and made their little speech, but people just don't care because they think they're going to fall back. They think if we stop rioting, you guys are going to kill some more black people. And they're right. They're right. They're absolutely right. So they damaged I don't know if they damaged the Vern Rife building, but that's where all the politicians are. I don't even think the politicians are in session. I don't know. I don't know if they're in session or not. Listen, when I was a legislative aide, the legislative aides took care of the politician's office. So when I worked for Representative Coyer took the place of Senator Harris. This is a long time ago. This is 20 some odd years. This is 1999. Took the place of Senator Harris. So when I came into Coyer's office, I was representing him for all the constituents who were calling into the office. They were like, "Hello, I'd like to speak to Representative Coyer," and I would say, "He is not in right now. My name is so and so. I am his LA. How can I help you?" And then they would tell me what the issue is. Then I would make phone calls and resolve their issue. And they would say, "Representative Coyer's office helped me." So that's how that goes. But when they're not in, and that's the same thing when they're not in session. The LA is always there. Legislative aid comes in every day, and or the administrative aid. Sometimes they have two, but I think they only have one now. And the administrative aid would come in pretty much a 9 to 5 and field all the phone calls, send out all the letters. In my case, I had to actually take the minutes because I wonder if you guys are saying stuff. I had to also take the minutes. So let me read some of your comments. Okay, let me see if I can go back here. I'm going to say this again. The comments don't show up when you guys have a lot of comments at once. So if I'm not reading it, it's because I didn't know it was there. Okay, good stuff. Columbus has something burning. Okay. Here's stuff popping. Okay. Have you seen the video of the... Okay, yeah, saw that. I can't take us all. I appreciate the hell. Okay. The curfew isn't going to stop. Okay. Without... Huh. Watch out for bridges and underpasses. Rumors that people are throwing rocks and bricks or cans. Yeah, see, I think those are the people who are setting us up. The real looters are in D.C. in enclosed rooms, making laws that don't affect them. Right. Uh, they riot in here in Dallas. Oh, okay. You called it right on. The military. I told you, Polo. I told you. See, I've been talking to Polo for what, a couple weeks now, haven't I? Shoot, about a month now we've been chatting it up on what's going to happen. George and the officer that killed him worked together. Yeah, they used to work at the same nightclub. George he also did a porno. I mean, listen, this guy was almost in the NFL. That's why all these actors and all these sports guys are coming out because dude was an athlete. He wasn't just some regular dude. He was an athlete. I mean, he's a big, strong guy. Even if I wanted to protest, I wouldn't right now. Too much chaos. Plus, like you said, my group could. Yeah, yeah. People can turn on you if you say the wrong thing. Like I was careful of what I was saying when I was down there. You know what I'm saying? Police equals. Hold on, you guys. Let me put my glasses on. I was very careful of what I was saying when I was down there because I've had a mob turn on me before and I had to punch a guy out right in front of my house. Just turned on me and start saying stupid stuff and I had to punch him in the face. Police equals rocks. Military equals queen. Term limits. Well, yeah, I left because of term limits in the House of Representatives. My legislator was Betty Boyd, and she reached her term limits, and I was her LA, so I left with her, and we both went to ODJFS. Here's a tip: if someone is an avid blind police supporter, okay, or if a cop claims to be a good one, ask how many times has the cop testified in court against their fellow officers. They don't. No, they don't. That's the code meaning of blue line. Exactly. Because they'll get killed. Nobody even talking about the coronavirus anymore. Actually, it was mentioned when I was looking at the Denver information. They was like, well, coronavirus is still a thing. We're in the middle of a pandemic. But see, people stopped worrying about coronavirus because they were going to open up the state or open up the U.S. next month anyway. So people were like, "Oh well, so what? Corona?" I'm like, "Nope." At Lady G, good evening. Yes, smokescreen to try to dummy us down. Right. The Dispatch had a story today about COVID 19 spreading in the protests. It is very true. COVID 19 spread in the protests when they were protesting COVID 19. So these protests down here are, you're definitely going to see a spike in COVID 19. And if you guys need to know any of those numbers, you can just look at what is it, COVID help, corona.help, or something like that. I don't think people care about that right now. Priorities are different now. Government is worried they're losing power. The government has lost power. They have lost power. They're blowing up cars in LA. Yep. Yes, sir. Uh, he made it. He made it to the league. This was no ordinary dude. Okay, this was a strong person who didn't fight. He didn't even fight. I believe he could have tossed those officers around. Look, this guy was a guard. He was a security guard at more than one place. He was a big, strong man. They blew up a car today on 270. What? Wow. You live where, well, where do you live at, Liz, what, Lizvrd? Where do you live at? What city do you live in? See, I don't want to go nowhere near that. Y'all blowing up cars on Tuesday. I don't want none of that noise. You get the young people to go there just so they can film it and put it on YouTube and try to get some money from it. I am not. Oh, okay. Well, you live where I live then. Wow. So what? What? So just for you guys who don't live in Columbus, 270 is the circumference of the city. So you have 70 runs east and west. You have 71 runs north and south. And then you have 270. It's like a big old bullseye. It runs the circumference of the city. I can't believe you're only live feed talking about Columbus right now. On a live feed talking about, I would have thought there would be dozens streaming. Well, there were some streaming earlier today. Columbus, Ohio, gonna turn up. I think they're turned up. I think they're turned up. Uh, I think this is gonna turn into something. We've already got what, five injured here in Columbus. I'm a little. See, it's just going past what I expected. And the worse that it gets, the further we go down the rabbit hole, it's just the the reaction to the violence that these people are displaying is going to be more violence. We are looking at civility go out the window. We are looking at civilization turning on its head as we breathe. We are not looking at people who are acting with compassion towards one another. And it is no longer us against the police, us as in the people, we the people. It's turning into us against the police, against the military. So we're looking at division. We're looking at teams being split up into, you know what I'm saying, It's just getting bad. Trumpets, get it? Hey, what's going on? I don't get it. Explain. I wish I could wake up from this terrible nightmare. I feel this is just the beginning to turn into something I don't care to mention. I think you're right. I think you're right. I think the people who are perpetuating uh, trumpets. Well, I didn't get it. I'm sorry, my mind is. Where are those Second Amendment advocators at since the curfew was initiated? Seems like when it gets real, they're nowhere. Well, I don't think the police are interested in in anyone's. They just want you to get off the street. Yeah, I just think. Listen, I just think it's. I think that. I just can't see any way around this one here, guys. I can't see. Okay, so let's look at what we got. Let's look at what we got. We have the rioters. We have the Black Lives Matters. We have the people out there, putting bricks, next to buildings so protesters can come and take the bricks and throw them through important buildings, state buildings, and stuff like that. So we have people feeding the violence. It's just like in Chicago. There were cops putting guns on the streets, and now then you have all these murders. We have cops putting, setting people up with bait trucks full of Nikes. You always have somebody in a position of authority trying to create a criminal. You always do. The streets are ours. The money came from our paychecks. They can't decide when the streets can be traversed and when they can't. Well, they can try to decide that. That's what martial law is all about. It's exactly what it is. Now you're talking about two civil people talking, or two civil factions talking, the government and then the people, and then you laying down a you know I'm gonna get to that question in a second, John. And you saying, okay, listen, government, you guys can't do this, but they don't really care right now. Yeah, yeah, they don't really care right now. They're coming out in force. They're coming out with firepower. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, if they hurt somebody, listen, if they do more than just arrest someone, there's going to be blood. If they hurt somebody, it is going to be a wrap. And that's going to be it. And they're going to have to take it to a whole nother level. And when they do that, the people are going to take it to a whole nother level. And civility will be completely a thing of the past. There will be no negotiating. There will be, and I mean, just think of where we're at. We are at the point. We are at the point where protesting is peaceful. Listen, peaceful protesting is a thing of the past. I mean, just drink that in. If you tell somebody you're going to peaceful protest something, they automatically have a sinking feeling, and they know that whatever you're peaceful protesting will not get through to the people in control. They know this. As a matter of fact, they would be encouraged not to peaceful protest. Peaceful protest is no longer a thing. It is obsolete. It is not on the board. It's not an option. Now protesting is, what are we going to destroy and when? How much of it are we going to destroy? And how long are we going to destroy stuff? Now everything is a target. You guys understand this now. Peaceful protest is gone the way of the dodo bird. It's what can I destroy? That's it. And they're doing it in the open. What can I take? Look, you got one place they robbed a car dealership. They went in and took a car out of the car dealership. Okay, let me answer your question. What is your desired outcome? John Richardson asked me, my desired outcome is that we stop the rioting. But peaceful protest isn't going to work. So we're at what do you call an oxymoron? Uh, but my desired protest, if I was in charge, for some odd reason, all of a sudden they say, "Hey, Anthony, give us the answer." This is what my answer would be. This is what my answer would be. I would tell the police. I would tell the police. I would tell the police, do not aggravate the people. And I would not make any threats towards the people. None. Not whatsoever. I wouldn't do it. I would tell the SWAT team that came out in the armored car, put that damn thing away. You put that damn thing away and don't you ever bring that out towards the people. I would shut the American president up because he said when the looting starts, the shooting starts. I would tell him to shut the hell up. Don't say another damn thing. Go in your room. Lock him in his room somewhere. Just tell him to shut up. And I would address the people in each city in a suit and tie. In a suit and tie. Well, yeah, I would address them in a suit and tie, and they would hate that. But no, I wouldn't have a tie on, but I would have on a casual blazer and a little to let them know that I am somebody who is in a position of authority when it comes to what goes on within the state or whatever. I would do that, but I'm not here to try to tell you what to do. That's not what I'm here. No, I didn't watch his speech. And let me finish this first. Let me finish my train of thought. And then I would address the people and the protesters. I would have police with me, but I wouldn't have them ready to, run people over with horses. And I would tell the people, we are going to make a change, and the change starts now. We are going to ask you what you want. We are going to change the way we police. We are going to start voting for police officers to be police officers according to the people. We are here and let them know, you guys are the ones in power. We're here because you voted for us to be here. So you tell us what is a civil way to handle this. And that's what we'll do. That's what we'll strongly consider. So you tell us. And then I would bring somebody and I would talk to that person. And I would bring them up to the mic and I would say, what should we do in this situation? And I would listen to what that person says. And I would say, listen, don't scream on the mic. Just tell us, what should we do? And I would try to get everybody to calm down and listen to this person. Who are you? What should we do? And I would listen to what they're saying. Because what the people really want, the majority of them, is peace. What the people really want is they want justice. And they want justice for everyone. And if there's anything within the police department, within the Senate, within the House, within any facet, if there's any racism, if there's the underhanded and undermining, any of that, all of that is getting fired and it's getting thrown out right now. If I hear of any of you doing I don't care about the blue wall of silence, none of that, because if all these people get mad and want to tear this whole thing down, it will be torn down. You will lose your job in a night. And some of you will lose your life. I don't care about the blue wall of silence. What I care about is going back to normal and policing the right way and changing the rules within the government. Within the government. So that's what I would do. I'm sorry it was long winded, but if you ask me, that's what I would do. Okay, so let me read this. They can try. This is true. They got all the data. They know uh, who to. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are going too fast. Come for when it hits the fan. They know who are effective influence. They'll get them first. Tell them, did you watch it? I did not watch what Trump has to say. I usually don't. Cops think they're the boss of all of us. This is true. It's in their nature. They're escalate at every chance so they can justify their. This is true. Boy, these comments are coming. Tone and Lady G, they throw a brick at the police car here in Dallas and nearly hit the police chief. That does not surprise me. Most people probably don't even know who the police chief is. He called out Antifa and blames them for the riots, but completely supports all peaceful protests, has already assigned the Justice Department to do a major investigation. That means absolutely nothing because the Justice Department did a major investigation when that kid in Louisiana got shot, and those two the guy who was standing outside selling his CDs, and somebody said he has a gun. That was a homeless person selling CDs, trying to get money to eat. And the cops said, and they called the cops on him because he had a gun which was registered to him. And the cops, before they even got there, said that they were going to shoot and kill him. They did an investigation on that, and those cops are free today. So doing an investigation doesn't mean anything anymore. They started off peaceful protesting, and there's these idiots started vandalizing on McDonald's and various businesses, included Louis Vuitton and Neiman Marcus. Yes, they did, and Apple. I mean, they're running into malls. I mean, it's terrible now. And says Mega loves all people. No, you don't, Mr. President. You do not. You do not love all people because you said when the looting, you said the military is with you, and when the looting starts, then the shooting starts. No president should ever say something stupid like that. At Polo 21, a cop got his teeth knocked out in New York. I think that's the cop that snatched the person's phone, didn't he? Cop snatched the dude's phone, and dude just hit him and ran. Normal ain't working. Yeah, we're done with normal. Look, I've been making videos before. Like every one of these murders that's happened, I've been trying to, make videos, but there's so many now. But when I seen them shoot that guy in Louisiana and he had his arms wide out and they was like, don't reach for the gun, don't reach for the gun. He had his arms wide out and they were on top of him and they shot him point blank range. I made a video about that. I said, you guys are going to pay for that. There's going to be blood. You're going to pay. You're going to wish you never did that. And there will be. They shouldn't have never done that. And then they had an investigation with the police department and said they did no wrong. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have let that man get killed like that. Everybody saw the video, and the guy he isn't even saying nothing. He just got his arms out like he's on a cross, and they put the gun to his chest and start pulling the trigger. No. No, 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 no. You shouldn't have done that, bro. You shouldn't have done that at all. Wanger CERN doesn't. Oh, okay, you guys are talking about yourselves. Laughing at this fake new normal. Looters should be praised. The reality is, you were a business owner and people started busting in. You'd won a gun in your hand. Well, a couple of these business owners do have guns, and one guy is dead. Tell they are not taking us seriously. On the flip side, though, because of our people shooting each other uh, at gas stations. Well, okay, so I'm gonna unpack that in a second. Looting is a legitimate form of protesting. It is a form of protesting. Okay, so let's do the black on black violence thing since you brought it up, Paulo. All right, so I've said this before, but the way you brought it up isn't facetious. Other people are like, "Yeah, you guys kill each other all the time." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so black people are not sworn to protect black people. We do not have a constitutional oath to protect each other. We are not paying each other to protect each other on a pandemic level. This is not what's going on. We pay the police. The police have an oath to protect us. So it's different. Now, when they see black on black violence, when they see black on black violence, they think that our lives, we don't think our lives matter. There are so many reasons that there is so much black on black violence that isn't perpetuated by black people. So you have Jim Crow laws. We'll just start there. You have poverty, being forced into poverty. You have abortions being forced on you thanks to Hillary Clinton. You have three strikes you're out. You have crack epidemic that was purposely put in our neighborhoods. You have police officers dressing up, in committing crimes, and then black people paying for it. You have these raids of SWAT teams busting in people's house, have the wrong address, and still killing people and getting away with it. You have the justice system. You have the justice system. You have the unjust system that doesn't even consider us to be human. I mean, so there are so many reasons why black people are just wiping each other out. In some cases, it's just frustration. Some cases, it's pure stupidity. Some cases, it's just anger. Um, you're trying to feed your family. Listen, I told you guys a story on why I left Atlanta. How the police chief was voting. Voting came around, and the chief, who was already in a position of power, he went home and two guys jumped out the bushes and shot him dead. And it turned out that it was his competitor who was running for his office, for that office, who did it. And how they found out is because the competitor was sleeping with the secretary. And this was a married man. And the secretary busted him. You think looting is a legitimate form of protesting? You're part of the problem. Yeah, I think it's a form of protesting, not a legitimate form. The thing is, the media is corrupt and only shows the things that stir conflict. There's a video showing black cop choking a black guy just yesterday, but the media didn't show that. I actually saw something like, I don't know what city it was in, but it was choking a young man. It seemed like he was choking him. So there are all kind of reasons why black people hate each other, why they kill each other. This world is finished. I don't think so, D Dubs. Well, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. The earth is the Lord's footstool. I mean, just think about that. This is where He puts His feet. But but the earth is the Lord's. So God isn't going to let somebody just destroy His world. I think that there's going to be. Listen, the worst case scenario is the one percenters get their way, and there's population control. That's something that we don't even want to speak into existence, because if that comes along, I mean, what are the chances of any of us surviving it? Really, I'm just a regular Joe Schmo, so the next thing I think is going to happen, we're under martial law now. We have military walking our streets. Here's what I think is going to happen. Like, the curfew will lift tomorrow, and then it'll go back tomorrow. You know what I mean? Listen, let me say this. If there's a curfew, 10 o'clock tomorrow night in Columbus, Ohio, we are now in a hard lockdown that is going to last for the next month. And it might even last longer than that. It just fits right into their agenda. I don't see why they would stop it. I just don't. I just don't. And here's what I think is going to happen. I think the COVID issue is going to come up, and it's going to go in this order. This is how it's going to go. The riots will stop. They'll slow down. There'll be negotiations. They'll walk in the street during the protest riots. It's much different than martial law. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no. What I'm saying is, it's easy for them to slip into martial law now. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying it's easy for them to just go ahead and just, we're at martial law. Because we have, no, it's okay. Look, I don't care if you guys disagree with me. I want you to say what you feel. Just be intelligent. And when I say intelligent, I mean like don't curse and use all kind of stuff that a lot of people don't really want to hear. So yeah, speak your piece, brother or sister. I don't know which one you are, but speak your piece. But what I'm saying is, it's easy. It would be easy to implement martial law right now. It'd just be too easy to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we pretty much have the trappings of martial law. Military is already boots on the ground. We're already at a curfew. And if they do implement martial law, which they can, and they have good reason to, you would see the riots come to a screeching halt, but that's why they would have martial law. Riots come to a screeching halt, right? No more riots, right? Then you have the whole, Bill Gates thing, his agenda going on with the vaccination. And how I think that's going to come about is I think COVID-19 is going to be a thing again. So here's what I'm saying. If tomorrow night we go right back into curfew, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this is going to stay around for a while. I think it's going to be curfew, martial law. So I think in the middle of June, we're going to be looking at martial law. That's just what I think. Don't disagree, but the military aren't the people who are making the laws on the fly as of right now, which is what martial law is. If it gets implemented, the citizens who destroy the streets, all right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? If you keep destroying stuff to where they have to implement a curfew, which happened, they burned stuff down, which happened, and they're trying to get order in the street. Now you have military on the ground. What's to stop them from saying, well, let's just go ahead and do martial law. Let's just let the military take over. And then after that, what's to stop them from going, you know what? COVID-19 numbers have just jumped. Because listen, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or was that last month, when Kentucky rioted, well, they didn't riot, they had protested, and after their protest was over, what happened? There was a report that came out and said some of the people who protested caught COVID-19 and died. Right? Did they die? It just said a bunch of people got COVID-19 off of that. Now you think about that and you go, okay, it's a virus that jumps from person to person. There's a bunch of people out there who are going, now we don't need a mask, whatever. And it jumped from one person to person. Now all of America is rioting. You know what I'm saying? So what's to stop COVID-19 from those numbers being spiked? Even if it isn't true, they can just say it is. And now there's spiked numbers of COVID-19, and then we went from martial law, we went from lockdown, from rioting, but now COVID-19 is back in force, and it's knocking off, what did it, what, how many people did it get? I don't know how many people it got, But let's just say those numbers, triple. There are more people dying, and then now we're going into martial law. What I'm saying is the riots are a caveat for martial law. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is the beginning. The riots are going to stop. Most riots do. But COVID-19, who knows when that's going to stop? We know that we're not even close to a cure. And America has already locked itself down when they didn't have to. What's to stop them from locking itself down again? That's all I'm saying. I can just see that happening because it would just be so easy to do. It would take nothing but the president signing off something and going, yeah, you know what, let's do that. Boom, sign something, executive order, martial law. Because COVID, they go, Mr. President, did you know that the numbers of COVID-19 have spiked up, 300%? Really? What can we do about this? Make everybody stay home. You know what? We're going to have to implement martial law. Boom, make it so. Military's on your street. Now they're telling you, look, we don't have a cure, but and then you're under this martial law for, I don't know, a month or two. Then all of a sudden the cure comes out of nowhere. Not supposed to have a cure for a year, but the cure has this speedy. It just came along speedy like, and they're saying in order for you to get the cure, you have to go through these steps, and then boom, you have to get this in your arm, and in order for you to get something to eat, you can't go to the grocery store unless you've been inoculated, and you have to have this thing in your arm to get inoculated. This is how we know you've been inoculated. Other than that, you can't shop at the grocery store. You can't shop at the grocery store. And as soon as you get to the grocery store, if they don't hear as soon as you get to the grocery store, if you don't have this thing in your arm, there's going to be some type of alarm saying that you don't have it. And I'm going to tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be one of those metal detectors that you walk through, except it's going to have, instead of going beep, beep, only that, it's going to have a black and a green light. Or, I'm sorry, it's going to have a red and a green light. And when you walk through and that light is red, you're going to get escorted right back out of there. Yep, you're going to get escorted right back outside. And that's just going to be that. And you're going to starve unless you have another way of, unless you're doing farming on your own. Most of us aren't farmers. And that's just going to be that. You're not coming into Costco's. You're not coming into Sam's Club. You're not coming into Target. You're not coming into none of these places unless you have this thing in your arm on you somewhere. And that's just that. I'm just saying, you guys. Yes, you'll fight it. Absolutely. Fight it. You think I'm not gonna fight that? Absolutely. Bill Gates already built an app for all citizens to register through. The app will connect all phones together. I mean, this is just lunacy. But it's all being played out just like the Bible said. There was another Bill Gates comment. I agree, man. Bill Gates is one evil little man. He is. And when did he become the voice of an epidemic? Why are we listening to him anyway? He sterilized thousands of people, thousands of girls in South America, yet media still supports him. Yeah, and the last time thousands of people were sterilized, a disease came along, a virus came along out of it, and it was called AIDS. All right, and it was given to the people by the Dutch, and it killed 35 million people. So no thank you. No thank you at all. But I'm just saying, it could just easily go that way. And you're going to be hungry. You're going to be starving. You haven't been planning any foods. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't have a stash of food that's going to last years. And then boom, you're going to be like, yo, I gotta put this in my arm. My baby's crying. My wife's crying. My kids are hungry. I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? I got to do something. And people are like, no, don't put that in your arm, man. Don't put the chip in your arm. No, I got to do it, man. I can't sit here and watch my baby, go hungry and yada, yada, yada. Everybody's ran out of food. Nobody's helping you. Grandma ain't got no food. It's over. You're going to find people begging for it. Yo, man, give me the chip, man. Give me the chip. You know what I'm saying? They'll be begging for it. Here's the thing about that. Here, okay, so the people's government. I've already thought about this and thought, how would it go? How would the people's government go? We would have to get rid of the governing bodies that are already there. And or we would have to work around them in a form where we no longer use their financial system. We would have to use a trading or bartering system like the Indians used to. Uh, we would have to secure enough land and enough seeds and and everything else to keep us alive. So we would need the help of the American farmers, who I'm sure there are American farmers going, okay, what's going on is ridiculous and I don't want no part of it. How do we make this go away and get back to, I need to get back to my cows, you know what I'm saying? So you would have people who are just like, yeah, I want to feed the people. That's what I do. Now, the trade system is something that the powers that be doesn't want to hear because they're not making any money off of it. You know what I'm saying? You don't need the Federal Reserves when you're talking about the trade system. You'd be talking. Yeah. See, I'm all for that. I like the trade system. I like it a lot. I love the bartering system. I do if you have things that are equal value. I love that system. But our biggest problem is the American government. They don't love the system because they can't tax what's coming and going. They can't tax it. If you gave me, if I gave you this camera and said this is a decent camera, told you the year and everything, and you needed this, you're like, I need a camera. I need this camera. I like this camera. I want this camera. And I'm like, this is a Nikon, yada, yada, yada. Boom. What do you got for it? And you said, you know what? I have a cell phone I'm not using. And I'm like, I do need another phone because the one I got is cracked or whatever. If we agree on this, we just make the trade, right? Boom, make the trade. Okay, boom. Not a big deal. So let's say we were talking about something of more values. Let's just say we were talking about automobiles. You know what I'm saying? And we're not talking about old automobiles that are rickety and whatever. We're talking about nice automobiles. Oh, well, excuse me. We're talking about the average everyday automobiles. And we start doing that whole trade thing, automobile for this or this for work on this and this for that. You guys know where I'm going, where there's just no money. And this becomes a widespread thing. See, some people already do this, but there's still money involved somewhere. So if we start doing that and there is absolutely no money exchanged, there's no way for them to tax us. But trust and believe, if it becomes a point to where it is affecting their their bottom line, they're going to arrest people for tax evasion. They will. They will. If they start making people get vaccinated to buy and sell, there will be rebel strongholds all across the country, just like Nazi Germany. Well, we better start getting those rebel strongholds together because all points there. I mean, all points are heading north on that idea. We're not looking at something that might could. We're not looking at something that's in the far future. You're looking at something that could be implemented as quick as the end of next month. Just that quick. And you can't convince me that they haven't been working on it because we've already seen videos of it. So we know the technology is already out there. We know there are people who actually have it in their arm already. We've seen it being used. We just haven't seen it implemented on a wide scale. But we know it's there. So the tools are already there. And it's just a matter of time before it's mandatory. So you have to have somebody manufacturing this and testing it on a large group of people and doing all the tests on it for a large group of people. You know what I'm saying, doing all the computer work and all that stuff that they have to do in algorithms and stuff like that. Have you seen Neuralink brain implant? I've heard Elon Musk talking about stuff like this. And he was talking about making an incision in your skull. Yeah, he was talking about making an incision in your skull, right? And once they drill into your skull, then they put this whatever in there. And what it does is it's supposed to help you recover from certain injuries, and it's supposed to stimulate your brain to the point where like you don't get Alzheimer's and all kind of other things that people get from low brain function. But here's the thing: when you start putting metal objects in your head, especially computers in your head, you have the potential to be hacked. You do. You can't tell me that you don't. Your skull is not going to be able to stop somebody from walking past you and pushing a button and then just causing a complete embolism. What is that? What's the fancy word for that? A hematoma or something like that. But anyway, just completely turning you off, just like and you not waking up or recovering from it. So I'm gonna say no to that myself. But yes, I've heard them talking about it. It's just a little too far fetched. These are people who are trying to live forever, and it's a once appointed for a man to live and then to die. Yeah. Well, it's dangerous. It's highly dangerous, and when you say the consumer market, the consumer being people who could afford it, that's for one, because Medicare ain't covering it. So, and even if Medicare did cover it, you're looking at it coming from the government, so you know you're not going to get the best version of it. And this thing is in your head now. It might not even be made of the safest metals. Then you're going to have a black market of it, and then you're going to have more and less advanced versions of it. Then you're going to have people who are able to. There'll probably be an app that's an EMP. So the next electronic magnetic pulse that just happens to be in the area is going to shut you down completely. It's just a bad deal. There's just the imagination is just too. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much. Uh, I just don't. I just don't. My brain does not need to be connected to the and through the internet physically. I don't need to be Bluetooth or blue chipped or I'm good. If I can't comprehend what I'm seeing, then hey, you know what I'm saying? That's fine with me. I don't need to download and then next thing you know, I know karate, I know kung fu. I don't want to be Neo. I'm not the one. I just they what they're trying to do is they're trying to download their consciousness so they can live forever. That's what they're doing. Your body dies, but your conscience is still living. So then they take your conscience and then use stem cell research to grow another body like the one you have, either another body like Dolly, or they take the stem cell research and prepare the part of you that died. So if you had trauma to to the brain and that's how you died, stem cell research, boom, put something in your head, fix it all up, boom, it's like you fell asleep, for a couple hours. No, you died. You know what I'm saying? They have your contents in one place and then your body got healed, or they put your body on ice until they figure out how to heal you. I mean, it's just so many scenarios, what I'm saying? They cryo you until they figure out. So you die in 2020, 21, you wake up, it's 2041. What happened in the last two, decades, well, we found out how to cure, whatever it is you died from. You know what I'm saying? We found out how to cure it. It took us, 20 more years to do it, but we figured it out. We had your body on cryo the whole time, and we had your contents downloaded, just like you asked. And then, boom, now the year is 2041. Welcome to 2041, Mr. Powell. Here's the money you saved up. Here's the interest from the money that you had. Boom, here you go. Here's the money you owe us for keeping you in cryo. And, here you go. Happy living. Can't tell me none of that's possible. All of that's possible. All of it's highly possible. And they're just defeating the laws of life and death. This is what they're trying to do. You don't even know if this world's going to be worth waking up to in 2041. You know, in the year 2222. You don't know if the next 100 years is going to be worth waking up to. Things are going to be a lot faster. They're going to be, uh, your whole life could be online. I mean, look at us now. Look how antisocial we are now. Just think about how anti we are now. We if 100 of us got on a bus, you would have probably two conversations. Everybody else will be talking to somebody on their phone. This is what online is doing to us. This is what it's doing. Kids don't want to go outside anymore. What do they want to do? They want to TikTok. They want to Instagram. They don't want to go to work. People don't want to go to work. They want to get on, YouTube and stuff like that. Lonely people who are, desperate and can't find a girlfriend or a boyfriend, what do? They reach out online. And there's a whole community that loves them that don't even know what they look like because they're a character in a video game. This is why World of Warcraft was such a big game. It had 11 million people on it at once. Because nobody knew who you were. Nobody needed to know who you were. You're a night elf. That's it. But you're a night elf female, but in real life, you're some fat guy. But everybody loved you as the night elf. Leading raids. See what I mean? But if they know that you were some wild-haired, black guy who wear glasses, you think they'd still love you? No, they wouldn't give a damn about you. They don't want to see your ugly mug, but they love to see a night owl female. Absolutely. 11 million people at once. Those realities are very real, and they're very real right now. I'm hoping the curfew lifts. I'm hoping that the rioting stops. I'm hoping that there's change in the Senate. I'm hoping that there's change in the police force. I'm hoping that the people are exposed in the police force who have been killing people, especially my friend who was killed. And I hope that Derek Chavez, or whatever the heck his name is not. I hope the prosecutor doesn't prosecute him for a third-degree murder when it was clearly first-degree murder. And I hope all of his friends that were with him, they all get first-degree murder. And it's on, huh? What's going on in the AT Rail? Lady G is in Atlanta. We got to pray for each other, man. We got to pray for each other. I don't want no part of this craziness. I'm not going back downtown. That's it for me. Oh, wow. Wow. That Asian cop needs his ass whooped. Yeah, I'm not going back downtown. I don't need to see any more protesting uh, close up. I know you guys appreciated that. But like I said, the tear gas will have a detrimental effect on me. Um, so I can't do it. I can't do it at all. I I can't even come close to it. So that's it for that. I can't do any of that. My allergies are going crazy as it is, and they've been sparking up my asthma. And just, I mean, there's this lady I've delivered to twice. And the first time I delivered to her, I walked in her house and she had a cat. And I noticed my breathing just, I was like, oh, I told her, I said, you have a cat, I can't really come in your house. I had to deliver something else to her recently. And I didn't even go in the house. I just stood outside the house and the same doggone thing happened to me. So I can't take no risks. Her little cat Snowflake, about to put me in the hospital. So I can't take any risk at all. I'm saying, there's that. Okay, guys, where I'm going to go, I'm getting a little tired. And it's been an interesting day. Thank you guys for stopping by and chatting it out with your boy. I appreciate it. Well, I can't. We are on lockdown. So no Arby's. Yeah, no Arby's is a wrap. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I would go in. Well, I wouldn't mind having a Reuben. I wonder if I can order food. Nah, I'm not gonna order anything. I'm just gonna go to bed hungry tonight. I'll go to bed hungry tonight. I'll get up and eat a big breakfast. Well, medium breakfast, because I don't really plan on doing much tomorrow. I just delivered the heaviest fridge I ever had, and it was a real bear. Me and this guy delivered it, and of course I did most of the heavy lifting, but that guy's still strong. But whenever I deliver one of those fridges, it just takes it out of me, and I like to relax for days after that. I just stretch and relax, and because that thing was heavy. It's a big old French door stainless steel, 69 tall, 35 wide. It was just a monster, double door. We had to take that fridge apart, just to get it into the doggone door, and it just was something else. So I am chilling. I am chilling, and I'm getting ready to do my evening ablutions, and say my grace and hit it. All right, you guys take it easy. God loves you, and so do I.